Yes.
Whoa.
Cool. Yeah. Where we last left off, you all headed to go check out this Harcerian, or this rather cave that seemed to be a base camp or derelict base camp of the Harcenians. As you traveled through, you encountered the prisoners that you had captured in your encounters with the Harcenians prior, as they assaulted Evergreen, and you dealt with the bull situation. And anyways, you sent these prisoners along, and it seemed like they had been caught in a trap by a trap that the machine had set for them, hoping to ambush anyone that approached. You dealt with the situation pretty well. Some of you took more damage than others. I think Joseph,
a lot more damage.
Yeah,
I don't know what you're talking about.
your mech got ate up some shit. But anyways, yeah, you made it out, and you pressed on forward to this base camp. You soon found, as you kind of pressed forward, a old but new contact, Dithal Ordo. She was at the base of this tunnel within, and she was bandaged up. As with her as a number of other Hessianians who were also injured a bit, and they informed you that a summit of the Hessianian United Cities from Microfields and Daylight, and of course Hive Home, are meeting to discuss their future plans for the machine and Evergreen. And she would like you all to serve as representatives for that summit. In the midst of that explanation, Patience calmed you all in and informed you that Evergreen and its surrounding borders are being surrounded by the forces of the machine. You all had a decision, and what did you guys decide?
I think we
decided to go with them.
Mm-hmm.
Go with the Hessians because they're nicer.
Exactly. That was the only justification, because they're nicer.
Yeah, they were nice.
Fuck Patience.
And then you guys abided by that. You regrouped with Nosimbo as well. She had been estranged from you guys for about a month or so, and you pressed on forward to Hercinia through this cave, aka derelict transit way. And what you saw as you arrived was a blossoming city, well populated by both Hercinians and also the fabled ants, the Egregorians, a sentient race here, dormant on Hercinia, living in co-prosperity with the Hercinians, or the humans on Hercinia. And as you all arrived, you saw an island, or a subterranean civilization that was made up of a bunch of islands that were kind of nestled at the base of this cave, surrounded by water, and a number of settlements and buildings and such. It's a blossoming city, a huge city, really. But then you guys didn't have too much time to take that in, as Dethal, your contact here in Hercinia, informed you it is time to meet someone important. And is that it?
I believe that covers everything.
Yeah, seems good.
All the important bits.
Well, let's change this music real quick.
Oh, we get new tunes. Oh, no.
Bye, Mammoth.
No, same tunes. Just a little different. Cool. So yeah, you all are here in Hive Home, the capital city of the Hercinian United Cities. Around you all, and you can control your tokens, around you all are a number of Hercinians who are wearing garbs and clothing that are indicative of this culture here. Also around you are the somewhat 5 foot so-ish arthropod creatures, or people, the Egregorians. As you all are escorted out of your mechs and being led on by Dethal and Nosimbo, you are getting kind of pointed at by a number of these Hercinians and Egregorians. This must be a strange sight to you all. The sight of alien life. Maybe, Gear, you've seen this before, but the rest of you, this is completely new. Before we go forward, what are you guys' thoughts?
Here's a little bit sketched out, because the alien life they had seen before was some very like low-grade, non-sentient, sort of violent bug kind of thing, infestation type thing. So seeing like specifically bug-like non-human people is like a little bit weird for them, but they're, you know, not going to like lash out or anything crazy.
PTSD.
Oh god.
What about the rest of you?
Tanya is ecstatic.
His
Nice.
new squiggles.
New squiggles. Q is like very intrigued. He's an empath at heart, so he's just kind of absorbing everything. It's probably like pushed him to the point where he's like taking out his personal journal and just kind of like jotting things down.
To learn as much as you can. Nice. What about you, Joseph?
Kaiser is, I think for the first time, genuinely smiling at the prospect of working with sentient alien life. Like he's like seeded colonies with like bacteria and like alien rats and like maybe like giant weird like hostile life forms, but none of them were anywhere close to not only sentient but built this entire, or he assumes they built the entire cavern or like built around it.
Yeah.
Nice.
Got you. Yeah, as you all hop out of your mechs, and you're kind of paraded, or rather escorted by Dathal and Nosimbo through Hive Home. Where you left your mechs, you kind of look back and you see a crowd of Hysunians and Egregorians crowding around your mechs, inspecting them. There is one, namely among them, that seems to take a particular interest in the designs of your mechs. Seems like there's a bigger crowd around Scalpel, your mech. Almost, there's a bit of trepidation you can sense from the crowd as they're maintaining a distance. But the one
You
that's
know what makes it even more awkward?
Yeah.
The fact that it's got an Agni and it's probably getting all angry.
Nice. Yeah. And then Kaiser, your mech, there is a Egregorian who's taking particular interest in your mech and is not giving it the breath that it so rightly deserves. It is crawling all over your mech, inspecting the damages from the last battle. You don't have time to go back and inspect your mech or tell him to get off, as this Egregorian is taking its time to analyze the intricate details of your mech and the battle scars. Soon as you guys are pressed forward, and let's see, yeah, so you guys are kind of pressed forward further through this crowd, kind of off in this direction. Kaiser, you see that this Egregorian has popped open your cockpit and is getting inside.
I think Kaiser is going to maintain a link and basically put it on like training mode. I think the NHP, the Lucifer NHP, like because Kaiser's an empath, they kind of vibe, and so it's also like curious, similar to Kaiser, about its new pilot or temporary pilot.
Nice. Yeah, I imagine a conversation between your NHP and your Lucifer NHP and this Egregorian ensues. But what happens in the fallout of that is unknown to you, as a crowd kind of obscures your mech, you guys' mechs, and they're kind of you kind of lose line of sight of them. Before you is a large crowd, more than what's represented on the screen here. Again, like I said, Egregorians and Hercynians who are oohing and awing at these new pilots who have arrived in Hive Home with intentions unknown. You all see most premier against from this crowd is an exceptionally large, almost say buffalo-sized Egregorian that is has a looks to be a tea shop on the back of their carapace.
Adorable.
As you all are forwarded through, you can kind of see a second track you guys over here. You guys are forwarded through and brought over here towards the center bridge area. This Egregorian kind of is given its breath through the crowd as it almost parts in front of it. And it walks up to you all and says, oh, shit, hold on.
Oh, that's odd. It just says, "Oh shit, hold on."
No,
It's
there
He's
we
a
go.
little
day.
fat.
Don't
There we go.
First day on the job.
It says to you all, towering over you some 5 or 6 feet above your heads, and reaching one of its arms, which has a long serrated blade attached to it. It is essentially its arm, and it grabs a teacup, several teacups, and uses its other arm to put some spices inside of it and pushes it in your direction and says, I hope that you all will join me for some tea.
Q
Yeah.
accepts. You have to
Mhm.
tell me twice.
Daniel takes them.
Gear the
Kaiser.
player would love the tea. Gear the person, the character, no.
Kaiser, as this Egregorian offers you tea, you get subtext with this tea. It means it's almost like a hidden intuition that only you hear, or you feel rather. You don't hear it in the sense of like you heard it through your ears. You feel it in your mind or even your soul. The subtext is, I hope that you enjoy this tea because it's been tainted by your essentially like masters or something like that.
Tainted by what?
Your masters.
Ah, okay.
So do you guys accept the tea?
Yeah. Could Kaiser, I don't know, try to return like an intuition or feeling?
You can give me a risky check, yes.
Risky checks. Oh boy.
Oh my gosh.
Kaiser, as you try to return this communication back to this large Egregorian, you get the sense that someone has opened the door to the base of your cerebellum, closed the door, and started to cook a full course meal inside your brain.
They
What
live
the
here
fuck?
now.
What does that mean?
So that means that you succeeded, but you suffered the adverse effects. So you return the message, which we'll get to in a second. But the adverse effects here are that in addition to this full course meal, you're being delivered by this consciousness, this subjectivity, which isn't necessarily coming from this Egregorian. It seems like it's coming from multiple cooks in the kitchen in your brain. And in terms of the food that they're serving you, they're histories, a barrage of histories that are being flooded in your mind. You haven't likely experienced this before. You've known that you've had a kind of like a small connection with those around you, an unspoken connection, but this is overpowering and it's causing you a bit of duress.
Oh, I
So
think
what was the message you were returning?
I think it's like a sincere, I wouldn't say like pity, but like empathy. And the feeling is kind of also defensive in that it kind of says like, I have no masters. A lion goes where it is fed.
Nice. Nice. As you accept the tea, you offer that bit of unspoken communication back to this Egregorian. They respond with, to you, but to all of you. And they say, my name is Winter. A name given to me from my inception. And I offer you this tea because I find you unique. Nosimbo looks at you all and just kind of looks with a bit of trepidation on her face.
Why unique?
Unique in the way that I sense you have, and they pause, and they go back to saying, how's the tea? You get the sense that the pause was a skip in their synapses, not an intentional pause.
Kaiser will speak up if no one else does, and he will say, you know, the tea could use some work. I think the seed that which it grows from could be improved, and with some work, we can bring it back to what it was.
You say that, and Winter responds with, before he responds, you get the intuition that Winter sees your response and the implications of your response as a very tall ask, and they assess you as incapable of completing that task, i.e., returning it to its former glory or whatever. And so they say, I'll take note of that. Maybe if I had other access to spices and confections, I could provide a better tea.
Well,
Kanye
If
is
you would
actively
have-
looking back and forth between Kaiser and Winter at this point.
if you would have me for tea at some point, I could show you a couple of techniques that doesn't require any additional spices, but brewing techniques.
I would most graciously accept your offer. But you must excuse me. Something other, they deserve your attention. And they, if you all have taken a sip of your tea, they fill it up to its brim and uncoordinatedly fill it up to its brim. So maybe like a little bit spilling over. You get a little bit of arthritic motions from this Egregorian. It's obvious that they are extremely old. They have a number of battle scars upon their body. And Dethal explains to you all as Winter kind of presses forward and starts serving tea to the rest of the crowd. Dethal says, that was the war form we call Winter. They're quite old and a bit in a disconnect with witness. They are prone to memory lapses.
I feel like it's not so much memory lapses as he is filled more with memories than he can reality lets him come to term with.
Bethal says, that might be. Who knows? I haven't spent much time with Winter. Their tea is good, though. Nosimbo gives Winter a Infocane salute, and as they walk on by, and says to you all, we must be going. There's one above that deserves our attention. I'm sure you feel its pressure upon your temples.
Oh, I just thought that was like elevation sickness.
Did you say that?
No.
Okay.
I say it to Kanya. I feel like the two Infocane are just sitting here sipping tea and watching with big googly eyes.
It's like,
the slurping
Looks
noises
like-
in the background.
Yeah. As you all continue to sip your tea, you have to give this Egregorian war form named Winter its space as it makes its way past you all, serving tea to the rest of the Egregorians and Hercynians that are here in Hive Home. The ones that you all have passed on your trudge through into this main complex, which you would know is called Heaven's Dome. They just kind of go on about their business as you've passed them. It seems like they just want, the Egregorians and the Hercynians just want to get a good, clean look at you all, an assessment of who you are, an assessment of your intentions.
Hmm.
So yeah, you all trudge on forward, walking up these massive stairs that lead to Heaven's Dome. Before you all is a crowd of more Egregorians as they stand outside of Heaven's Dome looking at you and not saying anything. Maybe Kaiser, you're picking up, and I'm going to describe it as this, assaults on your psyche that seem to impress upon you emotions and histories you're just nowhere near kind of familiar with. But as that happens, they slowly part ways and allow you all to pass further within to Heaven's Dome. Dosimbo says to you all before you all enter, I have not yet met this endeavor, but I am surely excited to see what you all will say to it. Them. I am still associating myself with this culture. Perform well. Represent yourselves, and I know I don't have to say it. Represent Infakane well.
Q-Tepi just kind of... Q-Tepi gives just kind of like a bow to Nasimbo of understanding.
Nods, still kind of starry-eyed, and follows.
Yeah,
Nice.
Gil will just sort of give a polite nod. They're very sort of, I guess, on edge, but not really doing anything particularly.
Nice. So you all arrive at the gates of Heaven's Dome. Tethal looks back at you all and nods silently and presses her palms against these massive doors. They open without any effort. Before you all, you see. Change this music. Wait. To this one. Before you all, you see a massive room. A room filled with not only people, aka Hercynians and Egregorians, but also a presence and a figure that shapes that presence. It's a high dome lit atop with a bright white light, lighting this massive figure, a bit smaller than what you would think you would encounter hearing that you all are going to meet Endeavor, the prime subjectivity of the Egregorians. But yeah, they sit nestled here in this room, lit in a green light. Indicatively, they are Egregorian, but also something much, much more. They sit cross-legged as they see you all enter. They stand up, extending their legs across their seat, and they are a massive figure, very similar to your size 2 gear, your size 2 World Killer.
Yeah.
Very much in similar size.
Okay.
And they say as you enter, you hear this without them speaking. You see no physical movements of their mouth. And they say, Sawubona, a word by which no Simbo tells me. I see you all of you, your histories, your intentions, and your memories. I have been curious about you since your arrival on this world. I hear that you are directed by one much like myself. But please, let me ask you plain. What end do you seek?
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Okay. I think Q kind of bows his head and steps forward ever so slightly. And then he kind of lifts it, his eyes stilled in resolve, and he says, "We seek peace. Furthermore, we seek to create new bonds against a greater enemy to us all."
Mm. Endeavor receives that without any physical or subtle reaction, still standing up on its hind legs, and responds back to you. Many have come to this world seeking what you seek. Why should I consider you any different than them? Peace, but a word.
You know, peace through my action. Uh, you say that you have seen our history and what we have done here. And I give them a similar gesture to that I gave Venom when trying to convey my supreme trust in them and in the offer of peace. I kind of outstretch my arms as if to I outstretch my arms and in such a way as to suggest that I am not protecting myself. Uh, I am not here to force peace. I offer myself up in the very thing that I seek.
Endeavor responds similarly, with again no physical or visual movements, but you get the impression that they're reciprocating your gesture, your physical gesture. Nosimbo is behind you and very cautious about what you're saying, and places a hand on your left shoulder, not saying anything, just places her hand there. And then Endeavor responds, I see. Your intentions are as I would have expected. We would have expected. Be, please, you are new to me. Be plain in your description. Again, and also, what of your compatriots? You all have served with Evergreen, the humans there. What are your thoughts of them?
Misguided, but with the potential to be saved. Redirected, if you will. I do not think that, I do not deny the transgressions they have made against you, but I also do not believe that they did so in full knowledge. While I cannot excuse such ignorance, I can say that there is a path of redemption. It is only fair it be offered.
Kui, you don't quite know how to explain it, but you get a what you would assume is a yes but it's not physical. Again, it's not, you don't see it anyway. There's no response. You don't hear it, but you get the sense of a yes. And as you focus more on this figure, Endeavor, you look around the edges, the silhouette of Endeavor, and it almost seems like your focus, your psyche only perceives what is in front of you. You don't realize that you're in Heaven's Dome. You don't realize that there are other Hercynians and Egregorians, even your compatriots around you. All you see is Endeavor in front of you and the ripple of, maybe you would explain it as space time. It's the same feeling you would get going through a blink gate.
Oh boy.
Endeavor looks at the rest of you. Egging on a response.
He's right. There are good people there, and they deserve a chance to make it out of this. The leadership and some of its extensions, I have less hope for.
You also get a nonverbal, non-physical yes. The other two.
Do you want to go first, Kaiser? Or...
Okay. I think Kaiser is gonna stay silent, but he's gonna try and
Ooh.
open up his mind. Well, it's I guess it's been opened up, but like filter it the noise out to just Endeavor. And
Okay.
what did Endeavor want? Something about the colony, what we think about Evergreen.
Correct.
I think he goes through like memories of conversing and like just like day-to-day activity, conversing, shouting, confronting, comforting, and in a sense he gets the idea that the people of Evergreen are no different from the humans here. It's just that what they know and don't know.
Okay. Kaiser, as you respond with this, when you walk through Heaven's Dome, you did see Endeavor, but what you find yourself talking to is a nameless Egregorian in a vast field that looks to be the outskirts of Evergreen. They're having a conversation with you, something to that effect. You explained what you just explained, but there's no response. You don't see what you're not seeing Endeavor. You're seeing something else entirely.
Yeah.
Gear.
Okay. Gear will sort of. They're feeling pretty awkward. I don't think they've felt the sort of psychic effects yet that are going on, but
It's like a weight on your soul. If you can describe
okay,
it.
so they are feeling the psychic stuff. Okay, that's
It's I wouldn't say it's like psychic. It just feels like there's something compressing who you think you are.
yeah. I guess shorthand wise, psychic is the closest word I've got for describing that kind of thing. But anywho, they are a little bit uncomfortable and sort of trying to process what's going on. But eventually they do sort of respond to the question. There are scared people in Evergreen. They are spurred on by misinformation and fear given to them by those that control Evergreen. I don't think that the civilians there deserve to be, wiped from the face of this planet, but I do think there is hope for some kind of lasting cooperation. It would
Okay.
just take some effort from everyone.
Okay. Good. So you respond with that. All four of you respond with that. Kaiser, in his own way, responds with that. I'm going to ask you all, what do you guys think your group consensus is on this response? Is it in favor of Evergreen as their kind of scared sheep, or is it that they're as culpable as anyone else, as the leadership? I think all of you guys have indicated the leadership is rotten.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's a mild protectiveness with a undertone of blatant hostility.
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
kind of similar to just what the rest of my teammates have said. There's like this level of like, if they were looking through our mind, they would see like our interactions with like the everyday people, like the chief buildings and then like the leader of the militia, and like how they're just people and we get along with them, but also like the complete distrust
Mm.
of patience, where it's like this is poisoning the well and it's not helping.
Yeah, if this endeavor does have like, mind reading capabilities, which I'm vibing that they might, they definitely see that Gear absolutely despises patience. Like it is sort of like a full on like this is my ideological enemy kind of thing. But for the rest of the people, like even like Adina G, who is very closely in cahoots with patients, it's sort of these are people that don't deserve, you know, uh, what they have, in the sense that they deserve better.
Okay.
I didn't,
Kaiser, what about you? Do you all go ahead and explain like what you think the group consensus is, and then I'll respond.
I think it's pretty similar to everyone else, where the people of Evergreen are, well, they're innocent for the most part, but the leadership is where the problems lie.
So if you all had to choose one thing that one emotion, one thought, one conception that you thought was most primary, would it be the disdain for the leadership, or would it be the salvation of the citizens?
I would say salvation of the citizens.
Okay.
Specifically because what I was gonna add was just that I don't think Q even sees Patience as like this is someone who I hate and want to kill. It's more so like they see Patience as being considering that Patience is like uh, a non-human entity, NHP. Um, they see Patience as like a bad tool, and it's like you can't keep trying to build this community when the foundation is bad, and patience is just a bad foundation to Q.
Yeah, you can't use a hammer to screw in a wrench type.
Exactly.
Screw in a screw.
Yeah.
No, I got
Screw
you.
in a wrench. I mean, if you're trying to screw in a wrench, that's just
no, a lot of problems. No, it works perfectly because that's what patience is doing. It's like none of this makes sense there.
It's an accidentally perfect analogy. For me, it's hard to say which emotion Gear would be going with, because both are very intense. Because they do constantly care about everybody's health and well-being, even the people they're shooting at. So like, it's a little difficult because they also just really don't like SecCom bullshit, and particularly patience. Like I'll have to think about it for a sec.
Okay. I think before we go on to the other two, in your thinking, you all, it's a weird feeling. You get the sense that you're your team. You've been working together for a while. You started off in Kulu, and you made your trek all the way over here to Arsinia, and you have some degree of team coordination. But it seems like you all are connected in this moment, all perceiving the same thing, well, except for Kaiser. But that also includes your de facto commander, Nosimbo. Her very strong emotions on this subject of what Endevor just asked, is the people who go about unconsciously, in Evergreen are as culpable as its leaders.
A crime of omission is still a crime.
Yep. So Kanya and Kaiser.
I think Kaiser. He's spec ops, but more so he's like a shape-shifting assassin, or body double, or like whatever he needs to be. So I think his emotion is more disdain, in that you scrub it off, and um, like you scrub off the stain, and the rest of it just washes away with water.
Kanya lost a piece of himself trying to help those people.
Definitely.
And there's
Definitely.
a lot of disdain towards all of that. He has not failed to notice his lack of ability for empathy lately.
Yeah, you don't say.
So yeah, disdain. He sees the parasite, not the host.
And so, Kaiser, just so I'm clear, are you undecided or
disdain?
Okay, cool. And then
yeah, very very similar to kill the parasite, then save the host.
Gotcha.
It's very hard to sort of distill down which it would be for me.
My entire team has killed the parasite, not saved the host.
Well, surprisingly, Q has aired on the side, not the good side, and I wouldn't say the bad side. Aired on a side that I feel like I wouldn't have expected as a GM.
Yeah.
As a leader, he aired on the responsible side.
Yeah, I definitely get the vibe that Katipe has like a very merciful heart sort of thing, but does what is expected of a soldier.
He is a bad MP.
Yeah. He's a bad MP. That's always been the
good at that, though.
That's a good way to put it.
I think, sort of considering his background, it would sort of distill down to mercy after like really feeling it out, I guess. While they do absolutely fucking despise patients specifically, the people of Evergreen, like even Adina G and, some of the higher up people, they are not cognizant of what they're doing, essentially. They are participating in a very bad thing, yes, but they have the misinformation that these are, random pirates and literal mindless bugs, which naturally isn't the truth, and they had no way of knowing that it was, what they were being told was wrong. So the idea of these people being punished for not having any way to have an alternative is pretty reprehensible to Gear.
Interesting. It's a good justification. Cool. Well, that leaves you all undecided, only swayed by Nosimbo's sentiments. But Nosimbo's on principle, hatred a little bit, but also principle. But again, Nosimbo is not you all. You all have a much closer connection than your connection with your de facto commander. Endevor, all this happened, all this communication between you and hearing each other, quotations around hearing, happens in a split second. Endevor responds right as all of you finish your last verbal words to Endevor. And it says, much like you all, there are a great many perspectives from the Egregorians and the humans here in Hive Home and in Michael Fields and Daylight. Some seek coexistence with the humans. Some seek to distinguish themselves as Egregorian, resenting the integration of the individuality and the revival of what we once were. There is a nexus of emotions and feelings here. I see you all deal with the same problems we do. And it stops talking.
He kind of nods and finally puts his arms down.
Kanya actually goes up and sort of flanks with Nasima, puts a hand on his shoulder, and it's like, "We are here to see evil."
Osimo, you all get the sense that Osimo is like, you all know what it's like
on my
to,
shoulder.
yeah, you all know what it's like to like talk to Shaka. Shaka's like a figure beyond reproach, but this is intrinsic. Shaka's almost manufactured. This is an intrinsic feeling of a figure beyond reproach. And Osimo is not about to speak or say anything or give any kind of confirmation at all. It is up to you all. So if you guys had anything to say, otherwise, Endevor will continue.
Nope.
Yeah, Gear's not gonna talk to their compatriots quite yet. Considering we're sort of in an audience with the big honcho, it'll be a little bit awkward.
Cool. Well, Endevor repeats. Many have come to this world seeking to help us. And then it lingers for almost what seems like an eternity. As your pupils and your eyes and your consciousness focuses on the ripples around Endeavor's silhouette, your body almost begs them to continue speaking. And right as that begging, that subconscious begging becomes unbearable, they continue. They say, I hope you know what this means. Then they motion towards the door. Thank you for speaking with me. We, all of us, find you interesting. And shortly after that, you guys forget that Dithal was there, and she grabs you all by the shoulders gently and ushers you out the door.
There are a lot of hands on my shoulders right now.
Yeah. Your shoulders are just.
It's that scene from Avatar where it's like the community grabbing shoulder.
Yeah, I feel like surrounded by hand. Oh no, I feel surrounded by hands.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's a good analogy. I think it's a good analogy, Queen, because as you were in this conversation, quotations around conversation with Endevor, you did feel like there were multiple connections with your allies, multiple hands touching your shoulder, guiding you and through what you said and what you communicated, whether you knew it consciously or unconsciously.
I'm going through my Return of the Jedi arc, all black, but there's still some white in there.
Gosh.
Go ahead.
No, it was a bad joke. Just keep going.
Okay. Cool. So as you all exit the doors of Heaven's Dome, you find yourselves outside, again, kind of beset and adjacent to this Egregorian and Hycernian crowd around you. Nosimbo leaves first, and she lets out a large and heavy sigh. She says, did you all feel that? Did that happen?
The existential dread crushing our souls? Yes.
Kid will actually like chuckle at that, even though they fucking hate Kanye.
Osimo will continue. Exactly, Kanya. That was much like my conversations with Shaka, but much Much more.
Alive.
Alive, exactly.
You should have seen it.
Infectious.
Kanya, Kanya's sort of technical tattoo has now shifted almost more to veins.
Nice.
Humanity restored.
Shifted.
Yeah. Cool. As you all leave Heaven's Dome and you're meeting with Endeavor, I think generally, how do you all feel after that encounter?
I'm guessing Gear, having never felt any kind of, for lack of a better term, psychic bullshit, they would feel very nauseous and would be doing a medical scan of themselves.
Nice.
Kanya's doing that thing, like you've just made it down the hill from like a really like refreshing ski hill drop that was like blatantly dangerous, but you're feeling the rush from it. He's doing that thing where he's like shaking his hands a little bit.
Oh, okay. Kanye, are you wearing a Mbumbuzula?
Yeah.
Okay. Kui, are you wearing a Mbumbuzula?
Affirmative.
Cool.
Though mine is highly decorated, I suppose.
Got you. You're that feeling is fleeting, as you almost you feel a shock to your nervous cord as you're brought back to what you would assume the reality you know.
Standards.
The reality you know. Same thing for Nosimbo, as it's almost like a very subtle juk or jet of the kind of the neck, and like almost like you're been impacted by something, and yeah, you guys feel normal. But before we do that, Joseph, how are you feeling after that conversation with Endeavor?
What about me?
I think he's in a what's it called, like a haze, because he's still like taking it all in and letting it like physically, like mentally assault him in a sense, just to learn new things, and so he's probably not even paying attention to anyone and just like continuing walking in just a straight line.
I think Q, while they're not like feeling nauseous or like shocked or anything, I think Q handled, considering that it's their first time having their mind kind of invaded, they handled it exceptionally well. They're not kind of shaking or feeling sick, but they are distant from the rest of the crowd, and then in one hand they hold the piece of chitin that they left behind when they kind of traded their Woyo mask. And in another hand they probably like just hold something from they hold like a little artifact from from Evergreen, probably something they picked up while messing around with the recorder.
I was waiting for you to mention this because you did pick up an artifact from Evergreen when you went to help the Chows. One of their children dropped a teddy bear.
Yeah, you're right. I have the teddy bear.
Yep. On the back it says everything will be okay, but it's like torn across its spine.
Yeah. I'm holding it, and if Kaiser was in a clearer state of mind, they would be able to like, the mental image of Key is one that is like literally tearing at the seams, and surrounded by like moths. Like almost enough moths to be like how you would imagine like a swarm of bees or flies or something, but instead it's just moths. And
I had a moth infestation
moth?
once. It's fucking terrifying.
Yeah, moth.
Okay.
And all along the seams of like this mental image of them, it's just light pouring out. But yeah, they feel very heavy in the pressure, and they kind of are probably just kind of wandering off without saying anything to their peers.
Interesting. Cool. Well, you all, I think, are honestly somewhat not changed, but definitely feeling the impressions of that encounter with Endeavor. You all would know, maybe Dathal explained to you before, that Endeavor is the primary consciousness for these Egregorians. And all these Egregorians are linked through this thing called witness, that it's a subconscious subjectivity that links all their minds together, more or less, to say. And yeah, you guys were exposed to that or assaulted by that. I'm not exactly sure how to explain it, nor are your characters exactly sure how to explain it. Maybe Kaiser knows better than most of you. But yeah, as you all are leave there, Nosimbo says to you all, well, on to business. I have been here much longer than you are, and we still have time before this summit occurs. There's one Egregorian I would like you all to meet. Their name is Vain Lucia Del Monte. I
An
have
amazing
grown
name.
quite fond of them. What'd you say?
That's an amazing name. Sorry.
Yeah, yeah.
Kanye sort of
Vain.
turns and is like, Elle parle en français?
It says Vain / Lucia Del Monte. Yeah, yeah. Nosimbo says, I have grown quite fond of them. They share perspective with me, but of course, Mvakane's mission here. And you all, as she says that, you all see a very ornately dressed, clothed, garbed Egregorian with a black mane that has green and yellow ringlets, kind of, knotting their mane together. And they approach you all from out of the crowd as you all are kind of heading down the stairs over here. And they don't bow. They don't kind of give an Infocani salute or anything. They just present themselves in front of you, kind of egging on a reaction. You guys don't have to acknowledge us. You can do other things, but yeah.
I'm sorry,
here
what
for
was
it.
happening?
There's a Egregorian that Nisimbo thinks
We should meet, right?
is her friend, because they both want to murder everybody.
Their name is Vain Lucia Del Monte.
I mean, I don't see a reason to split the party, though.
Yeah, no,
Probably
like,
am eventually going to go do my own thing.
he is
You guys have a
okay
bit of-
talking to this person, but they're a bit shifty at Nisimbo right now because, like, having felt that sort of mental connection, while Nisimbo had been very clear that that was her perspective, it's like having it extra concrete is like, why do you want to murder everybody even though it's not their fault? Kind of thing.
Yeah, as Vain Lucia Del Monte presents themselves in front of you all, who's gonna, or if you want to talk to them or not?
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool. Vain Lucia will say, what does it mean? How can one access it? What must we call us? What are they? All of these questions, do not ask them. They do not open possibilities. They cram begregared answers into boxes only you get to define. Too much of our world has been taken from us, but by curious little men asking questions, seeking meanings. Do not know, do not seek, just accept. Nosimbo gets this. I hope you all do too.
I do, however, Nisimbo says that you two are on the same page regarding Evergreen. I feel wiping out people that had no opportunity of alternatives is also restricting possibilities.
Vain Lucia Del Monte responds back to you and says, "Not necessarily. I will not prescribe myself to what Nosimbo sees as the unavoidable course of action. My primary concern is the individuality forced upon us by the human condition. You see, we all are Egregorian. We, that is what we are, not you. But in living with these humans, our brethren and sistren and fellow Hasidians, there are unintended impacts. You see, we no longer live in the cover and the darkness of our homes. We must be illuminated and lit and morphed by the frail human necessity for light. This is a crime."
Change isn't necessarily bad.
What'd you say?
Change isn't necessarily bad.
You say that?
Yeah.
They say, "Change forced upon you, or change willingly taken and accepted and agreed upon?"
Well, personally, I don't know enough about what happened with the lights. They sort of like nod up to the ginormous fucking light. However, generally, much of change you can't really control. But I hope that you have choice in the matter.
That is true. Change is a force of nature. But nature is a product of from whence you came. And this change brought upon by your masters is unanticipated and not a force of our nature. But I wish to hear more from you all, and not just Nosimbo's perspective. Would you join me in a conversation?
I'm excited.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. With that, Vain Lucia takes no pause in taking you all to their home. Who's coming? Who's coming?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
I think everyone.
Kui?
Yeah, I'll come along.
Cool. Nosimbo will join you all. Unless you don't want her to come.
This
Sorry,
is go. It's fine.
Like, thanks for showing us your friend. Fuck off.
It's our friend now. Go away.
Let me see real quick. Give me 1 second. Let's give Nosimbo a token. There you go. Before you all leave, seems like Vainly should kind of approach you guys at Nosimbo's word. Dethal seems to be catching a message, an urgent message. And she looks at you all and almost gives a fleeting kind of like hand to like pause, but you guys don't have enough time to kind of respond to that as you are kind of escorted through the housing blocks here on Hive Home and into Vain Lucia's home. Go ahead.
Seeing that the Thol had something they wanted to say, but getting whisked away, Gear will use the data plating to just send a message.
Nosimbo needs data plating too.
Wait, didn't the Thol like signal to us, or have I misheard things?
Yeah, Dethal does not have data plating. So.
Yeah. However, they still can receive messages.
No, she can't receive messages.
Well, when they get to that mech, they will have it.
Oh yeah, wait. So you're trying to send a message to Nosimbo's mech?
Yeah, it's not Nosimbo. No, Dethal.
Oh, I'm sorry. Dethal's mech.
just the Thor in general. Hopefully they have like a phone. I don't know. But if it takes them getting to their mech, then that's fine. But it's basically just asking if there's a problem.
Got you. I thought that data plating only works if someone else has data plating.
From my understanding, data plating is just like
That plays a cell phone.
yeah,
Oh,
it's a cell
okay.
phone that
Yeah,
you
okay.
can like do everything that like an Omni hook would
Got
do,
you.
minus like long range transmissions.
Got you.
But
Okay,
without
my bad.
having to like verbalize.
And
Got you.
omni-linking.
Cool.
Yeah.
So yeah, that message gets to the Thal. The Thal kind of responds through text, but kind of comes in kind of like read out in like Siri language, Siri voice. She says that she's getting an urgent message from the Rangers that it seemed to be in a hairy situation near the coastline of Soloterra, the continent you're on. But then she also says that Terra is, and you don't know who Terra is, but Terra is indicating that there's a need of these new combatants that arrived in Hive Home.
Oh, okay. Gil, I'm guessing that message arrives while we're walking to Vane's house.
As you enter Vane's house, yep.
Yeah, they'll communicate that we've been asked to QRF basically to thingers. They'll just say that verbally to everyone.
Oh.
We've
One
been asked to
more.
do what now?
There's a hairy situation apparently with one of the recon teams. They've asked for some help. Do we? Sorry, Vane. We might have to duck out for a bit.
Vane says back to you, there is always time for conversation. Should there be a need more pressing, I'm sure the forces of nature will deal with it. The Thal responds back to you and says, more information coming.
Okay. It will just communicate that like they've got a very apologetic sort of look to Vane, and then they turn to the rest of the squad and just sort of explain that more info is coming and such.
The Thal responds back to you again and says, have your mechs prepared. There definitely is combat in your horizon.
Okay. Gil will say, right. Yes. The Thor wants our mechs set up and ready to go. I'm going to ask if there's any info on what we're facing, but looks like we're in for a scrap.
Just sort of sends a message off to Sisyphus to essentially systems check.
Sisyphus sends you back a message saying that there are alien bodies, organisms that are currently in the cockpit. Give me a moment.
And sends back a message, politely evict them from the cockpit.
I'm guessing the what's it, Agni Comcon would probably have just locked the cockpit and the med bay and just like go near me.
You are not you are not authorized medical personnel. Please stay away from the drug cabinet.
Yeah, Gear, you're Agni NHP. Wait, what, is it an NHP?
Hospital.
Yeah, it's a full NHP. It's Agni.
What is it? It's called Agni.
Let me double check.
Yeah.
Agni class NHP.
Got you. Yeah, so your Agni NHP lets you know that there's like banging on the exterior of your cockpit, almost like a knocking at the door.
I'll sort of send a message to Agni that's basically like gently vent some heat, not enough to injure anyone, but to spook him off you. And to like boot up and such.
Nice. So yeah, Connie, you're in HP, and then Gear, you're in HP. You both get a simultaneous message. You get simultaneous message that affirmative. Go ahead, Joseph.
I think Kaiser's NHP is sitting cross-legged on the ground and as like a very rudimentary, like childlike drawing of violence that it has committed in the past.
Wait, you actually have your NHP has a physical body?
It
Yeah.
has the mech.
Oh, you're mech sitting
Like,
crisscross?
yeah.
Okay.
It's just letting people play, and it's like, I'm drawing the people I've killed since my animation.
I'm getting ripped tonight.
Like a weird evolving child.
Jesus.
What's your NHP's name?
Lucifer.
Kaiser? Lucifer? Yeah, so your Lucifer NHP does sends you backup messages that it's preoccupied with something. But it does note that there are changes being made to my vessel. And it shows no interest in deterring those changes.
Well,
Cool. Well,
Everyone's here messaging their NHPs. Meanwhile, I'm sitting here like,
I don't have a robot friend. Sad.
you and Nosimo are just sitting down at this table, kind of sipping some tea, like so.
Yeah, Gear will send a message to Default asking for information on the contact and such, like if we can get any more detail.
Yeah, after a while, Gear, Default will send back to you that Terror has more information on their request. But her request is that there are some other Hycerian Rangers that have been stranded in a sense and are being assailed by forces not of the machine.
not of the machine.
Okay,
Not of the machine.
that's not good. Okay, so to be clear, is this there are two contact points. One is with Terra and the other's the Rangers?
Exactly.
Okay.
You only have time. So the summit is in another 8 hours or so.
Yeah.
And you guys only have time to finish up this conversation with Vane if you choose to, and then address one of these things.
Okay. Gear will explain all the differences of the two potential missions. We didn't really get too much detail on Terra's thing, did we? It was just we kind of could use help.
It alludes to reclaiming things lost, things that were intentionally buried by Union.
Okay, so Terra's definitely dealing with some machine. I think Gear is very worried about the Rangers QRF request because not of the machine is worrying. So they'll explain both of the options basically. That there are mech issues over with Terra and they need help, and there's also some Rangers getting engaged by something not of the machine.
I'm all for checking out who's engaging the Rangers who aren't machines.
Mm.
Mm-hmm. About Kanya and Kaiser.
Same.
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Well, as you all make that decision, whether you're outside of Vane Lucia's Damonte's domicile or not, they kind of come back from their, quote unquote, kitchen area and bring forward some confections, some fried mushrooms or something, something that would be indicative of a cave environment. Yosimbo Yosimbo's already picked up some and started to eat, and has yielded the seats around the table to you all. Vane Lucia continues and says, "Do you all know what I spoke of before? Where I come from? What Endevor alluded to?"
Kid sort of gives a really apologetic looks and goes, "I really do want to discuss things with you, but there is a very urgent request for help. We'll have to pick this up again another time.
We
As
can.
they're like opening the door and like,
The mechs will be charging themselves. We can afford a conversation.
Speak for yourself.
Would you like me to have? In turns over, would you like me to have Sisyphus boot you up?
I prefer to go about things my own way. And Q kind of bows. Will probably like takes a mushroom, some of the fried mushroom, just to show that like, yeah, I want to be here, but I bow, and I excuse myself so I can go about setting up my mech.
so like just to avoid like confusion, I guess. How long do we have before we need to really get out to help those rangers? It's from the sound of like the info that we were given. It's pretty urgent.
Definitely acting now would afford you a little bit more preparedness in getting to the battlefield in a timely order.
I'm doing it.
But also, you could afford a bit of time to introduce yourself to this new person.
As Vane said, there will always be time for conversation. Though I think they were meaning like right now, but later on is probably healthier for these rangers getting shot. So Gear's gonna like sort of look towards their compatriots and be like, "Come on, let's go."
Yep.
Cool.
We'll follow the team.
That's a consensus. Dosimbo will watch you all leave Vane Lucia's domicile and say nothing. And kind of, I imagine her kind of like propping her foot up against the back wall. And as you all leave, kind of standing up and looking at you all leave and making her way towards Vane Lucia to have a conversation.
Kanye does stop and's like, I would like to have this conversation. And sort of like makes like a show of like, I will be back.
I will be back.
Vane
Like
Lucia
Gear is
responds.
also very like genuinely wanting the conversation, but people dying is wanting to avoid.
Vane Lucia responds with, as expected, humans looking out for humans. I'll leave it at that. And then you all leave the compound here, leaving Nosimbo and Vane Lucia behind to converse because they're buddies.
Gear will also just send a quick message to Terra explaining that they won't be able to support as there are some rangers pinned down and engaged.
Cool. Let me see.
In my understanding, the ranger thing is like more life-threatening.
Yeah, the ranger, like, it was specifically, there are some rangers pinned down. Whereas Terra was like, hey, there's some, like, things in the ground.
Yep. The Terra's request is you probably get a little bit more information from Nathal, but Terra's request is recover some seems to be a cache of old Egregorian eggs that are buried, tens of thousands of eggs that are buried in a cavern. And he was seeking you guys' assistance in clearing out everything that's there. But Dethal's request was immediate in the sense of there are definitely some rangers, which are a combination of Egregorian and human, that are pinned down by this other force.
Okay.
Yeah.
That keyword eggs there changes Kanye's want.
Yeah, I think Kaiser would want to go for the eggs.
Same.
Gear is all about that urgency, and I guess would send a message to Terra saying that we could help after dealing with the more urgent request.
There is no helping after. Terra responds back to you and says, the forces, essentially in that kind of communication, the force of the machine will likely close the gap This is the only gap we have.
Oh, heck. Now, having more context, I understand that it's a Egregorian or human decision.
Yeah.
But with, like, less context, and also there is still urgency of people are about to die over there, whereas over here it's like, while it would be lovely to be able to, secure a more future existence for Egregorians, they're not immediately about to die from the sound of it. So,
Oh,
Wow, the machine forces are probably gonna smash those eggs.
yeah.
yeah.
Oh.
So, like, I guess we'll just democracy it, which one we want to go for. But Gear's definitely still on the let's save the Rangers.
Yeah. I am in an equal position.
I think Kaiser, he's gonna say be more altruistic. He's not actually saying this, but he's in favor of the eggs because humans are compared to Ergregorians like a dime a dozen. It's very
He's
cold,
not
but
that. He's not. Well, Kanye's not that blatant. It's very much. Though. Those are not only a piece of history, but they are the continuation of a race. The others are soldiers who signed up to perform a duty. While I don't want to leave an asset in the field to die, there's so much lost from the other.
Yeah, yeah.
Is it common
Verlex, the
knowledge?
player, really wants to go for the eggs because that's But Gear, the character, is like, these people are about to die. I would rather not have people die. They're also curious if it's Evergreen lashing out in violence.
Yeah, I think for me a big part is trying to figure out who is pinning them down. Because that's not the machine force. Because in my head we have Evergreen, we have the Hysinians, including the Egregorians, and we have the machine force, but there's also now that like that city that's on a separate continent, and we don't know what their deal is yet. So if this
I'm
is
pretty sure that
potentially
was
them,
That was
I'm
one
pretty
of
sure the separate continent people were Hysinians, one of their other.
Nope.
Where...
Nope.
Oh.
Yep. you see my point now, huh? See my point now.
Oh, damn.
So if this is them, I want to go and see. I want to go see who's pinning it down, because if it's Evergreen, I'm gonna put them in their place. And if it's the unknown, if it's the kind of unknown players in all of this, this is a great opportunity to gain information.
Yeah.
I think
Especially considering that this particular hive, for all intents and purposes, don't seem to be connected to whatever the other group is. So even if they are other Hyserians, that doesn't stop them from being enemies.
Yeah.
so. Who is
We got a 50-50 split yet again.
Terror?
It is important to know who's gonna point at us.
You would know that Terror is probably from subtext from Dethal. It's commander. Terror is a commander of the Rangers, so it's also Terror's people who are caught out in the shitter. But Terror, for whatever reason or not, has chosen that something else is a priority, and the priority is the recovery of their people.
Terra's an Egregorian, correct?
Terror is an Egregorian with a capital E.
Capital E.
Capital E.
Are they an Egregorian like Nosimbo's friend?
No.
You mean a racist Egregorian?
Yeah, I mean, are they a racist?
The self-hating Egregorian.
The Simba's only made one friend.
Yeah, a racist.
Yeah, Vane is a racist.
What?
They literally just went, "Y'all humans look out for only each other."
And she knew that there were also Egregorians too. 'Cause they're
Typical
mixed.
humans only caring about humans. There are literally other Ergregorians, yeah, but you're doing it for the humans.
You're just doing it for the humans.
Vane has a particular perspective. Wow.
Yeah,
Yeah,
racist.
it's a racist ass perspective.
Similar perspective to my grandma.
1, 2, 3, 4. How many humans are in my store?
Oh my god.
I know.
Oh my God,
you're
Legion.
stealing.
I almost died. Oh my God. Oh God. Oh, I think I choked. That was funny. Oh gosh. All right. Well, there's a 50-50 split here. Let's take a 10-minute break and then return.
Sure.
Cool. All right. 10-minute break. Oh my God.
Velox the player
that's so much.
doubly now wants to go for the eggs because like the CEO said, hey, the eggs are more important. But like Gear is a medic. It's kind of that thing.
Medic!
Medic!
I also feel like, yes, I feel like if they sent you both messages, like if they're like, hey, this needs to be done, but also this, it doesn't mean to me, if one was like way more important than the other, you would only send the message about the one.
Yeah, I think it was because I got them both through Dethol. So Dethol, it from what I read, I guess, was received the ranger's request for help, and then Terra sent a request for the big guns for some help, and because Terra's the CEO, which we learned after leaving the building, it seems like that would be what Terra actually wants rather than the Rangers. Like
Oh, is Terra
Tanya's
higher
whole
rank?
thing about the Rangers being soldiers and that's what they signed up for is like, yeah. However, like from my character's perspective, it definitely is, let's save, lives instead.
Instead
I
of
think the
future lives. I see. We are sacrificing babies for.
I think the issue
Yeah,
is that I don't
doesn't see future lives as current lives. They are a very doctory doctor.
I think the issue for me is that I just don't necessarily understand the stakes of saving the eggs because it wasn't, to my understanding, it wasn't like, hey, we need to recover this before whatever forces get here and destroy it. It's just like, hey, can you help me pick this stuff up? You want to help me bring the groceries inside?
Yeah. That's the vibe I got
Alright.
initially, but
Sure, that'd
it definitely is like, hey, the machine's gonna blow it up if
Yeah.
we don't grab it now.
If it's more so the machines are gonna blow it up if we don't grab it, I'm going to go with the egg. But I'm still very interested in like who's attacking us, and
Oh yeah.
I actually want to see if I can establish communications because I didn't like send I didn't send not Shaka Patience an evil message before when we left or anything. It was like, hey, it was a similar thing to Gear of like, unfortunately we are
comply.
preoccupied with a task, we cannot make it back to base.
Yeah, it was literally just a can't comply.
Why is it that they can't? They have the communications to tell us they're in trouble, but not what the enemy is.
Yeah, I do want like if basically Giz gets told, hey, we're gonna go do this instead, they're still gonna they're gonna comply and go with the team, but they'll like try and send as many messages as quickly as they can, being like, hang in there, buddies. What are you actually fighting though? Like,
It's
what's
like,
going on?
is it like lasers and bullets, or like they're fighting, I don't know, like giant spiders?
Yeah, I know. I was setting up to have a direct line to Patience. I know. The person who does not like Patience wants to be able to talk to Patience whenever.
Oh yeah, Kaiser just has the network that he.
True. I don't think Patience would alert us to be like, hey, I know that you said that you want to protect the Hyserians. So we went and sent a team to shoot at them. Like, I doubt Patience is going to inform us, but I feel as though we have the resources to potentially figure it out without having to ask Patience.
Yeah, no.
If it's them, I mean.
Yeah, no. If it's Evergreen, it's gonna be the contingency white. Yeah, it's gonna be them who have done it. It
Which-
might even just be Morlib going like, "I need some action," and going out to
If
shoot.
it-
those
if it
I will
is-
admit that
friends.
was my thought.
If it is them, then they are in trouble because that inherently goes against our agreement.
Yeah,
Our agreement
like they were
which
aware
was,
of the ceasefire.
yeah,
also-
our agreement was that like that neither team would do anything that makes it harder for the other team to do their job. If you're shooting at the people who we are trying to create a ceasefire with, you are making our job harder.
Exactly. Like, as a player, I definitely want to go for the eggs more. But the character comes first. I
Okay,
gotta
and
make
also,
sure.
does anyone else feel like the moment we got the message, unfortunate that Patience wrote us off immediately?
No,
yeah, we're
I also feel
deleted
that Patience
assets,
wrote us
basically.
off.
Yeah.
Like, oh, so you're not gonna you finally showed that you're not gonna follow my directions no matter what I give. All right, well, you're dead to me basically.
Yeah, like patience is
Not
If we
patient.
if we have to
No
fight that
patience.
team, I'm gonna let you know now. Whatever her name is, Annabelle. Oh, slap fucking civilians in the face.
She does first.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
Gear still doesn't
they're getting
know that
Tanya
happened.
shot. They're getting
Oh,
Tanya
you
still
were
shot.
doesn't know
informed.
that
You
fucking
were
happened.
informed.
You were
Excuse you. We had a
informed.
powwow. We had a
Oh, yeah, we
powwow,
did.
and we informed you
I don't remember.
right outside the front door.
If nothing else, you heard it if nothing else, when we had the meeting with Eddie, you would have saw
Oh, yeah.
recordings of it.
Oh, true. Yeah, Gear hates that person.
Yeah,
And isn't
if
fond of
we-
the other medic because the other medic did not do anything to stop that from happening.
Yep.
if we
Despite it being, a medic's job to stop people from, dying.
if we are if we ever end up in a situation where we have to fight them, she's going down first.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
If
I
it-
imagine that actually, fucking Meyer will probably go down first because he's probably going to be in range first.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But she, to my understanding, she's something like an assault.
Okay.
Like
So
if I get to call your shots, you're calling shots on who I mark, and guess who's getting marked every turn? Every
Yeah.
turn? Every turn.
Gear will be pretty specific in the targeting. They
You-
probably won't actually go for Mola unless, Mola tries to fuck with us.
You do
Let-
not want to experience
They
punished
definitely will be gunning for the let's do casual civilian abuse and the medic, because the medic could have easily stopped that and did nothing.
The,
All right, I'm back.
and
Hi back.
the one that pilots the drone. I think Kaiser would let her live.
Yeah, the drone person seems fine.
Eddie is gonna get absolutely fucking molly rocked.
Beware the person who only talks to drones.
Yeah, you guys are like, she can live. I'm sitting here like, she's gonna be the
yeah.
main one.
Like, yeah,
I'm-
she's
I'm
a
like,
weirdo and probably quite dangerous, but like they
Nope.
didn't do any
My mind,
awful civilian abuses.
awful sociopath Kanya is going. I wonder what the chances are that this one's already been like partially in. Like they've got tech built into their head. What's the chances they've already been infected by the machine?
Exactly. Cool. Well, did you guys decide on which way you're going?
I think we're going eggs because to my understanding, to my a nude understanding, the stakes with the eggs is basically that the machine is gonna come and smash them all if we don't help.
That is a likely outcome.
So
but,
yeah.
The
The other
stakes
likely
and what was more urgent was like a little unclear when we were getting the messages because they were coming in
Yeah.
at the same time and they were all partial.
For me, I genuinely thought that when it was like, hey, eggs or rangers, to me it sounded like, oh, the rangers are pinned down. They're under heavy fire. They're not going to make it out. Also, would you like to go on a nice walk and collect eggs?
Yeah,
like,
that's the vibe I
not
got too.
It's not very urgent.
But yeah, Gear still wants to go for the Rangers, but is going to follow the team. And Katipe decided, hey, the eggs are actually pretty important. Hey,
I am the tiebreaker.
Cool.
The maker of
Are you
ties
guys
is the breaker of them.
gonna give your decision back to Dethal or?
yeah, I
Yeah.
guess a
Yeah.
slight retcon if it's okay, because there's a confusing situation of like, it's fine. But no, once the team tells Gear, Gear will send messages out and also send a message to if they can, like through Dethal or directly to the Ranger team to try and, explain who they're fighting, like details about their engagement.
Yeah,
Because those guys are gonna die. Hopefully they can.
Bullets, lasers.
we were talking about using like our various resources, like connections to, like Kaiser has all the cameras and stuff. So we're trying to see if, in the very least, if we can figure out whether or not it's Endeavor doing the shooting.
Patience.
Or
Patience.
not, yeah.
I don't
not
think Endeavor's going to be
uh,
shooting their own people because
No,
they
it
feel
was-
it. They feel it, and that's not great.
I said Endeavor, but I was thinking Evergreen.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Just trying to
So the
figure out if
ideas
it's
are that it's
Patience.
Evergreen or the new contact or someone else entirely.
Got you. You can ask
so-
Dethal.
Yeah, I'll send a
Who's
message
shooting at
asking
you?
for detail.
Cool. As you all leave Vane Lucia's domicile, leaving behind Nasimbo and him
Oh, wait.
and them to go ahead.
Before Kaiser's gonna get in the last word to Vale, and that he basically tells them we're helping the Egregorians in your future, and then walks out.
Vane does not have a response for you, but you get the sense, and this is not this is an intentional sense that there's agreement in your decision. And
God,
then
I
you
Vane
walk
will
out.
remember that.
Hate when you have to help the racist.
Oh, it's okay. She's gonna die in season 2.
Yeah, I'm not happy about the whole racist bit.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, as you guys leave, Gary, you sent out the message to Dethal. You catch that Dethal is kind of almost pacing in the midst of Hive Home, looking around and kind of communicating with the situation with the Rangers, and also trying to respond to the request from Terra. Catches eyes with you all and says, "Have you all decided? Will you lend your aid to the Rangers or address Terra's concern?"
And sort of
I guess-
he looks to Gear and it's like, do you want me to say it?
My commanding officer points to Kitive, has decided that we should help Terra with the eggs, regrettably.
Tutepi is just like way in the back of the group, just still. They look as though they are in a constant state of sitting underneath the dark shaded tree, just
Yeah.
head
His
downcast.
His Shikamaru phase.
Yeah. No, this
yeah,
is my
Gear has-
Sasuke about to leave the village phase. What are you talking about?
Gear is like visibly like quite antsy that this is what they have to do.
The Thal responds back to you and says, you kind of see her give a bit of a mourning expression for the Hycerian Rangers, that, the eventuality and the outcome that will befall them, but says to you all, understandable. The eggs are the Egregorians. Their livelihoods are very important, and the discovery of these other eggs in dormant is not something to be ignored. Feel no concern. The Rangers are trained, and I'm sure they can hold out for as long as they can.
I do have a request of the Rangers, and I understand that this is horribly difficult, and they are, facing quite a difficult situation. But would they be able to identify who is attacking them and give as much information about it as they can?
Dethal says, I've been trying to ascertain that myself. I'm sure more information will come in eventually. But one thing I can tell for certain from what I've heard, rest assured, it's not evergreen.
That's good that it's not evergreen.
Somewhat of a comfort.
Somewhat of a comfort. However, I am very worried about who it could be. I really am sorry that this is how it's gone.
Decisions, she sighs a bit and says, decisions are hard in a time of duress. You can't have regrets for what you choose. I've learned that the hard way.
Also, did you just call me your commanding officer? Hot damn, upgraded.
Gear is a mercenary for Embarkani, and until that job is done, you're the CEO.
You are the rank. You are technically the rank.
Technically the
senior.
ranking officer.
The ranking senior, because I think we're actually the same rank, but you're the ranking senior.
Yeah. I have a rank and I'm a senior. So yeah, I'm the ranking.
Cool. Well, Dethal's going to let you all know that Terror would like to meet you all personally to explain the ask.
Head over.
Okay. Also, as a side, with Dethal saying you can't have regrets for what you choose, Gear always regrets everything.
Aw, Gear.
They hate letting people die.
Don't die. Give me one
Don't
second.
die on me. Stabs with fucking adrenaline.
Cool. Well, as you all decide that, Dethal will leave you all as she's going to attend to the updates from the Hercynian Rangers. And she will inform you all where to find Terror. They are at their basic command / home. It's further within Hive Home. As you make your way there, you'll travel across one of the gondolas that are attaching to the main island and some of the other islands here. And you'll reach an island that looks more militaristic in its design. It's well guarded, well defended. There's a number of rangers out, kind of stationed on the outpost. And at the center, kind of similar to how Heaven's Dome was, there is a small complex that signifies Terror's basic command here. As you all arrive, you see this. And I did turn off the token vision.
We can see.
We can see. Are those mushrooms we ate? Those don't look good.
Those. Oh no.
Did we just eat Death's head?
My eyes to see the darkness.
It's like that one image of that fucking idiot that's holding a blue ring octopus. It's just like, oh no.
Is that a katana?
Yeah.
What is that katana made out of?
It's its arm. It's a blade arm.
Alright.
Did it lose an
decapitate us all
arm?
in one
then-
swift blow.
So yeah, you guys, you all enter Terror's basic command here. On the outside, you see a ground that's not guarded at all. Terror doesn't need any protection itself. It's as you soon find out, is also much like Winter, a war form, in the sense that it is a buffalo-sized Egregorian. with large pincer-like arms that display themselves in blades. And it is sitting on a pedestal in front of a table that displays a number of red and blue figures. You intrinsically get the sense that the red symbolizes the machine, the blue symbolizes the force of the Husarian United Cities. It appears Terra was postulating and pondering on attack patterns and battle plans, given the situation with the machine. And you probably also see an outlier on this table, a yellow figure signifying what you would expect to be evergreen. And it is completely surrounded by these machine forces. Also in the room is another Egregorian, another Egregorian. You'll know that their name, and Dethal may have mentioned this, that their name is Biter or Bitter, depending how you want to pronounce it.
Bitter by the spelling.
Bitter.
Yeah, Bitter, yeah. Bitter is a revivalist. Their mission, or their occupation rather, as revivalists is to recover and study and generally just revive the history of the Egregorians here on Hercynia. And they are here in this meeting with you all, primarily because they were the ones that discovered the tens of thousands of Egregorian eggs, and which you'll soon find out something else that is in this cavern.
Oh, it's gonna be the place in the well, isn't it? God damn it.
As you all enter, Tara says, "Welcome.
Well met.
My name is Terror. Don't be scared by the name. I hear you humans are quick to scatter, but I see you all are more firm in your resolve. I must congratulate you. Your skill in combat and the deterrence of my ranger scouting teams is admirable, though I do mourn the loss of fellow Arsenians. The reason you're here," and Terror tilts its head to look at Bitter, says, "The reason you're here is that our histories are not as obscured as we once thought. We must recover our past. Will you aid us?"
We're here to.
Of course.
Okay. As you say that, Bitter kind of walks up and sits down and gets their sign that it's their turn to talk. And Bitter says, "There is a old, very old, and very similar complex, much like Highfoam, except we had discovered many, and when I say many, I mean thousands of our fellow Egregorians buried in what we once thought never existed. You all's mission will be to recover these eggs. But in addition to that, we've found old instruments of our struggle, which aided us in our struggle against Union. Machines, instruments, war instruments. We would also like you to recover. Do you still agree?"
That's our objective, then yes.
Absolutely.
"Well, it's settled." Then Tara chimes in and says, "Well, it's settled. you will venture further within these caverns, the homes and tunnels we've built long ago, and recover our past, and also bring back to us instruments from which we will use to end the fight with the machine. I will let you all know that I will see this gesture favorably when the summit does occur in a few short hours.
Q is just very quiet. He simply nods.
Yeah, Kira's a
Not
bit distracted.
disinterested, but
He's like essentially checking their phone for the messages pretty frequently.
Okay.
well, yeah. We know it's not
Kanye's.
Evergreen, and we know it's not the machine.
And Kanye's sort of back straight and is trying to be attentive.
Okay. Well, Tara doesn't have anything more for you all. You've agreed to this mission, and you will all be given instructions to head out further past Evergreen, deeper within these tunnels to recover these Egregorian eggs. And Bitter will be coming with you all, as well as an attachment of the Hycerian Rangers to ensure anything you guys encounter is dealt with.
Just realized my loadout on my mech is horrible for this situation.
How so?
It's I've got a giant flamethrower that
like
will
that
burn all the eggs.
Please come
accidentally.
collect the eggs, Gear.
No eggs today. Burn.
It's like, okay, so we got the eggs. How do you like them? Omelet, over easy.
No more children.
You guys are savages.
Savages. Seeing all this stuff does make me interested if anyone's done a playthrough where they basically be the baddies, which I know is not the
I
point
feel
of
on
Wallflower,
here?
but like it's interesting. It's fucking interesting.
God, if someone was the baddies, I would quit playing with them.
I mean, yeah, honestly, I am very interested in it though, like just to see what it would pan out like.
yeah, there's some really interesting choices here. Thanks, Tom and Miguel, for giving me heartache. Cool. Well, if that's it, and you guys have any more questions for Tara and Bitter, Bitter will accompany you guys as you leave.
Okay.
Sounds good.
Cool.
Also, Shaka, before I forget, because I always forget things, did anything come of that message I sent secretly?
Oh, to Jacob Merrick?
Yep.
Yes. What came back is hello, and it's very short. Hello. Opportunity is lost. Retreating to Evergreen for some respite or salvation, rather, is a better word. You get the sense that opportunity isn't a concept; it is a thing or a person.
Okay. Interesting.
Person.
I'll
Yeah.
essentially CC that to Adina G and ask for a bit of clarification of what that might mean, and that I am sorry that it didn't turn out well.
Yeah, UCCs it to Adina G, and you get a quick response. First off, it's hope everything is going well. Evergreen is in dire straits. The militia and Brava is fighting back the machine where we can, and they are mounting refugees from the gray towns, Merricktown, which Jacob Merrick runs, and Lou Mays. And it says the situation is grim, and she also informs you that opportunity, apparently Jacob Merrick had an NHP in Merricktown, and it is lost to the machine.
Oh, it's not
Mm.
good. Okay, that's not good.
Lost to the machine doesn't sound like killed. Sounds like taken
No.
over. I'm just gonna put that out there. This is why I don't put
Yeah.
machines in my mech. This is why everything's analog.
Yeah.
As someone
Yeah.
who knows technology, I don't trust technology.
Yeah,
Yeah.
seeing that that message, Gear next time they see their mech is probably going to be like, "Hey, Agni, haha, I'm
Sorry,
not
little
gonna
buddy.
take you out, haha." Yeah, Gear will send message back. I guess. Oh God. Hang in there, buddy.
There's no hope.
I hope that the contingency white is able to help as much as they can.
Yeah, you get a response back that's just a bunch of dots. Contingency white. Dots, 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 dots.
They just
Yeah. Cool. Well, as you all leave Terra's domicile or house or whatever, you make your way back to your mechs across Hive Home, past the Dome of the Heavens, past the home of Vane Lucia, who you recently met, and across the bridge and back to your mechs. You find that they're not where you left them. They were escorted to the hangar here, or hangar quotation marks, on Hive Home. And as you approach the walls, you see a number of Egregorians that are carrying looks like instruments of war, pistols, rifles, and the such, and also Hycerian Rangers who are guards. You also see a familiar face, Venom, and Venom is kind of taking it pretty. Yeah, Venom's taking it pretty easy and sees you all approach and says, "I thought all would never come. I tried to stop the Egregorians and Hycerians, but they seem to take an interest in your mechs. I think you'll find they've gotten a makeover." He chuckles a bit.
Mm.
I like Venom. Venom's my friend.
It's good to have friends.
They're so fucking cool.
Metal Gear.
Yeah, you all proceed forward into the hangar, and 3 of your mechs are intact. They probably have some Hycerians and Egregorians. Look like they're just doing general repairs on your mech and just kind of expecting them and
I don't
doing the best
like
they can. Go ahead.
3. I don't like 3 of our mechs. There are 4 of us.
Yeah.
What's going on here?
3 of your mechs. You know that Hive Home does not have printers, and so the repairs on mechs have to happen manually and is a long and arduous process. So there isn't enough time to get your mechs to tip-top shape, right? Because there's a lot of diagnostic checks that you need to do. But Kaiser, your mech took a lot of damage, and the Egregorian that you saw initially on your mech, you soon find out that their name is William, and it seems that they have taken the liberty to disinstall a system on your mech. It's of your choice, and install another system, Carapace Armor, and you can go to the inventory and add Carapace Armor to your mech. Your mech has vestigial armor. It's exotic gear that is presumably from a Egregorian war form that covers the kind of exterior of your mech. So you've got like samurai armor pads that are spiked on your mech. It's 2 system points. You can take the time to disinstall them if you want to, but they've taken the time to install them. If you take time to disinstall them, it'll take a little bit more time, but yeah, you should be able to do it if you really want to take them off.
So I'm wearing some corpse.
So
Yep.
What's the actual effect of the carapace
like-
armor? Is it like +1 armor or something?
It's like a weird effect. So let's go to
Oh.
systems. Let me click on your mech Kaiser, and then see a carapace cadling. That's what it's called. While sufficient for personal armor, Egregorian chitlin on its own is not robust enough to withstand attacks from heavier weapons, nor can it easily be gathered in sufficient quantities to fill an outfit chassis. Regardless, many rangers still utilize carapace-based secondary defensive enhancements anchored over critical systems and as additional layer of ablative protection, most notably against incendiary and caustic corrosive munitions that might otherwise resist conventional suppression. The effect is it's limited to its unique Vena charge to immediately clear all burn from your mech. Additionally, whenever you brace, you may also expend a charge to reduce all burn dealt by the attack to 0.
Interesting.
That's pretty good.
Nice. That's pretty cool.
So you have
I can now burn you, and it's no consequence.
Gear can now shoot you, and you're fine.
you have personalizations, custom paint job, rapid burst jump jets, and your Lucifer class and HP. Do you wanna choose to lose something to add in this? It's 2 system points, I think.
System. I'll do the.
No, one system.
Oh, I'll go with the custom paint job because it's
Yeah.
not good paint job.
The only one
Wow.
allowed to succeed on custom paint job is Gear.
All right. You now have Carapace Cattling. Your mech is looking very Hercinian right now.
I'll,
Go ahead.
I was just gonna ask, how long does it take to like boot this up? Is there enough time to like talk to Venom?
Yeah, there's enough time. Yeah, there's enough time to talk to William and Venom.
I'm talking to Venom. I don't know about y'all.
Go ahead.
It is now almost like it is now almost Q's formal gesture to the Hycerians at this point. He sees Venom and he outstretches his arms and he goes, "Ah, my friend,
Poses at Venom.
please sit with me. Let us speak before this mission."
Venom is good.
I was just gonna say I kind of lead them to a table if they are willing.
Yeah, Venom will definitely follow with you and kind of looking back at Kaiser's mech and a bit in admiration, and says to you as he sits down, "I hope your friend likes the repairs my kin have placed upon their mech. The armor of our fallen is a great honor."
You grace us. We only hope to prove worthy of it. And as Q sits down at the table, he pulls out both the kindness like shoulder plate that he got and also like his spare Woyo mask. This one's a little bit less used. It's a spare on it's a spare for a reason kind of deal. But he pulls that out with one hand, both those things in one hand, and then in the other hand he clutches something underneath the table. He doesn't lift it, but it's just kind of you can tell that he's holding something underneath the table based upon how he's sitting. And he says, "Venom, you are Hycerian, yes, but you are also human. Do you know the old histories? The ancient histories?"
Venom responds, kind of looking inquisitively at you, at your posture, and says, "Be plain with your ask. I'm not aware of what histories you speak of. I know from my conversations with Nosimbo, you all are different."
I will be plain then. I recognize that I am a bit of a, as they would say, bookworm. There used to be a people known as the Zulu. For many years, they were like any other tribe within the area. But once upon a time, they had a leader, one named Shaka, a great uniter. I fear that there is much division, but like Shaka, I hope to be a uniting force, not one that exacerbates the grievances held between others. And Q kind of pulls out the doll and places it on the table and says, "There are daggers pointed at us all. We would do well to not forget those which could be our allies. I will
Okay.
correct
Go ahead.
this." And he kind of leaves the doll on the table, and then he puts the kindness shoulder plate on, and then his royal mask. I am the holder of the. I have forgotten the word all of a sudden, so that's kind of ruined this. My apologies.
You're good.
I'm trying to think of the spear, but my brain had a brain fart.
Ukuwa?
Thank you. I
Mhm.
am the holder of the Ukuwa.
Venom sees and hears what you're saying and reaches his hand out across the table to pick up the doll, the bear, and kind of inspect it a bit. And looking back at you with sincere eyes and says, "Thank you for the story. There is much I see we don't know about these old histories you speak of. Though I know the fight is in me, and that fight points me in defense of the Egregorians and the Iserians here. Rest assured, there is much space for a uniter, and there is much space for camaraderie between former foes."
Q nods and he says, "Then, as always, my breast lays bare to you." And he kind of bows and heads to his mech to prepare for the mission.
Nice.
Breast laid bare.
Do you leave the bear with Venom?
I do.
Cool. Yeah, Venom will take that. Almost inspecting it with a bit of familiarity, but just unknown familiarity, right? Like the item in the confection, I don't think confection is the right word, but item of a bear, like why even someone would choose to commemorate a bear as a toy is a bit foreign to Venom. And they take that with
It is. It's a
some time.
familiar structure, even if its details are different.
Yes, yes, yes. So yeah, Venom will take the time to look at that and think on what you said to them. Pause there and switch over to Joseph and William, who is an Egregorian who has taken a supreme interest and finished up these Carapace Cattling modifications to your mech. And William will climb down your Enkidu and say, "This was," oh gosh, I've got their name. Oh yeah, "This was Anander's mech, isn't it correct? I recognize the oscillometric patterns."
Well, it was. If that was his name, then
Yep.
yes.
Regret was a call sign.
Yes, it was rather unfortunate that we couldn't have been on the same side. It was. I couldn't have known at the time.
"That is okay. I am glad it is returned to us. I personally made the modifications to Anander's mech, though I regret he headed out before I could finally inscribe their histories. Would you mind if I took the time to inscribe those here and now?
Of course. It is. If it's the tradition of your people, then I will respect it.
Not so much as a tradition, but as a favor to a friend. A gone friend.
Likewise, sentiment stays the same.
Very well. Thank you. And they look at you and look for like a reciprocation of their thank you. Oh, or looking for your name. I'm sorry.
Oh, he's gonna very cautiously extend.
Get the full name. Get the full name.
Yeah, he's gonna extend his hand and try not to, get himself cut. And he's gonna say, "Well, that was a bit rude that I didn't introduce myself. I am Joseph Cavalier Rimash the Caduleus II, at your service."
Kanye walks
To your
by.
surprise-
Kanye walks by. Tell him to say the whole thing.
To your surprise, William repeats that exactly to the T and says, thank you, X, and says,
Give it a shot, Shaka. Come on.
oh, Joseph Caveat Rimanarchi
I really hate Shaka cracking. Why you try to say the name?
I can't do it.
Nothing about this.
No, honestly, I practice it for after the first time you introduced yourself as that. I practiced it and then I forgot it. So sorry. Yeah, they say that. Thank you, and then they say much appreciated. I will take my time to inscribe that Anander regret, as I'm sure you know them, sought another life. That life goes by the name of Joseph. Should you return from your next deployment, I would take fancy in inscribing a further tale upon your mech.
I think that's probably the nicest thing anyone has ever done for me. That they weren't coerced to do.
Oh dear.
Oh my God, Joseph. William nods and finishes up their osteomintic inscriptions on your mech. You know that these osteomintic, I think I'm saying that right, inscriptions are literally a form of conveying emotion, histories, and person of being or thing of being. So you can convey a lot if you know how to read, witness, or osteomimetics.
Osteomimetic.
Yeah, osteomimetic. Thank you.
Interesting. Yeah. Before I go, I have one question.
Please.
Why William? It sounds like a very human name.
William chuckles, right? Like if an Egregorian, you've never seen an Egregorian chuckle at this point, and it's a very chaotic expression. Chaotic in the sense that their whole body kind of frizzles a bit to example that they find humor in what you said. What's that sound? I think it's Kanye.
Sorry.
No idea.
Kanye's mic is doing something.
There you go.
Sorry, I'm making dinner.
Oh, you're good. Cook it up.
Bing.
Making that bacon. Yeah, they respond back to you and say, it was a name of a Assyrian ranger I was bonded to. Sadly, they didn't return. I had hopes that they were captive, but what appears is that you all must have killed them in combat. Fear not, I carry on their legacy. It's stored in witness.
Well, if this really doesn't change much, but I have made it an effort not to kill any Harsinians on this planet. There were a couple of casualties, but it was on our side. An internal conflict, if you will, amongst Evergreen and its people.
William says, again, fear not. Mechs are instruments of war, and the things they do can't be faulted, for their purpose is completed.
I would see it differently from the SSC, but we can talk about that later. Once I get back,
I hope you do. I would love more conversation with you.
All right. See ya, BB. And in case you're wondering, in Union, William is short, is long for Bill. Bill, B. I'll go.
Okay. William looks a little confused, but yeah.
This is
they-
human humor.
Yeah, they don't understand. Yeah, they'll finish the osseomimetic inscriptions on your mech, and with a little bit of time, all your mechs are good to go. Do you guys think we have enough time for combat? It's going to be Kanya rather.
Anya, yeah.
What was it, 10?
Can we get it done in an hour? Or sorry, 45 minutes?
No, we can't get into that 45. It'll be like an hour and a half at max. Only 30 minutes extra.
Totally up
Do
to you.
half of it now, half of it next sesh.
Ooh,
Yeah, I've been really bad about my sleep this week, so I'm gonna dip.
All right.
Okay.
Cool.
Uh,
Well, yeah. Go ahead.
I was gonna all I was gonna add is just that like Q-Teppy has traded out his kind of like faded red Basoto for an all black one.
Nice. Where'd you get that from?
I keep things
In the bag.
in my bag.
Keep it in my half-size bag. It's
He used-
obviously there.
He carves the chitin and uses motor oil.
All right.
Look, you gotta keep the drip on hand. It's kind of like it's strapped. It's strapped to the back of my neck.
Oh,
I don't
the
get
drip,
shot.
man.
It's fine.
You can't ignore the drip, honestly.
Expanded compartment. I think you mean jewelry box.
Just picture Q-Teppy looking through Rolexes like, which one today?
Oh my gosh. All right. So yeah, we can continue and just not dip into combat. There's still a little bit more left here.
Yeah.
So as you all I guess you gotta leave the hangar and get your mechs prepared.
Yeah.
Okay. Leaving the hangar and getting your mechs prepared, you get calmed in by Nosimbo. And it's pops up on all your HUDs, I'm assuming, as you guys hop into your mechs. I guess some of you do see that some of your controls have been touched a little bit, but nothing too serious. Except for you, Q-Teppy. There didn't seem to be any Egregorians in your half-size mech.
Yeah, no one was shuffling around inside
Yeah.
my bodysuit. Sorry.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh god, I just thought of an Egregorian goblin. Oh god.
Oh my gosh.
Goblin immune to fire.
Yeah. So yeah, you guys get calmed in by Nosimbo as she pops up on your head. Her, gosh, let me just pull that up real quick, actually.
Wait, would a Harsinian Caliban just be the spider tank from Ghost in the Shell?
Oh.
Oh, most likely. Cool. So yeah, you guys, Nosimbo's Vicious pops up on your mech HUDs as you all leave the hangar and begin to head out and regroup with the Hycerian Rangers and Bitter that are escorting you guys to this cache of Egregorian eggs. She doesn't say anything. She just her image of her is popped up on your HUDs, and just she's staring at all of you.
Looking respectfully, you know.
He does the Mfakane salute.
She still doesn't say anything.
All right, guess say something then. Something you need?
No, Kia. Nothing I need. And to Kanya, nothing I need from you either. I thought it was unbecoming to leave a new contact in the name of Vain Lucia Del Monte stood up, as it would seem.
Well, we did get a QRF request. I feel that it is a bit more urgent to respond to those than to have a chat. We do still want to have that chat, it's just there are more pressing issues.
Besides, we aren't, are we not? Should we not go where the action is?
Yeah, egos heal, but lives don't.
Ooh, so much logic.
Yeah. And then in the very back of the group, it's this Qtepi already like suited up, Bosoto, black Bosoto, red royal mask, chiding on his left shoulder, and just turns around and he says, "That is right. We are impi no symbol. Aren't words for the Mteto?"
Nosimbo grunts kind of in an undertone and says, "You see, I thought you mercenaries and impi of the left horn were much like me in the right horn, but I see you stick to your old ways. So be it. I wish you luck in your encounter, and I will inform Vain Lucia Del Monte that you wish to converse once you return. Charge forth into battle. Again, I hope you the best."
The Simba confuses me sometimes.
Yeah.
I'm not.
The whole campaign, she's just been like, "Yeah, go kill that fucker. Go and kill him." And then now she's like, "Hey, you didn't talk to my friend."
Qtepi,
Like what?
Qtepi is going to approach Nosimbo.
She's commenting to you.
Oh, okay.
It's on
I
like
thought
video
she-
chat. We're
Yeah, I thought
FaceTiming, group FaceTime.
Are we
Zoom chat.
FaceTiming? Is there video?
Yeah.
Where's the video feed?
can't
Where's the
believe-
camera?
I can't believe you just implied we installed Zoom on our Macs.
Yeah.
We all have Zoom. Now we have viruses. Or no, it was the machine's plot all along.
Oh man. Well, if she's not physically here and can't see me, then never mind.
Okay. Cool. Well, you all calm out from Nosimbo. Wish you all the best of luck on your mission, and you all regroup with the Hercynian Rangers and Bitter, who is waiting at the mouth of the one of the mid-walls openings away from the collection of islands that composes Hive Home. There are about 5 or so rangers here. They're not in mechs. They're just on foot. And Bitter, who is equipped in Egregorian hardsuit armor, something similar to a assault hardsuit. Bitter doesn't have a gun, just has a data pad with him, and says to you all, "I'm glad you all decided to come. We don't have much time. The machine might have already descended upon our legacy. Let us ride."
Okay.
Cool.
Well, good hunting. As the mech closes.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, you all kind of get those mechs situated, and honestly, I don't think Hive Home has seen uh, such shock and awe of new age Union printed mechs. Honestly, other than the Enkidu, which is a recovery, but also is like a reconstruction and improvement in many ways. You all are piloting something that the Harcinians here in Haifam don't have access to, and so they do feel a lot more comfort in traveling with you all.
I
I'm sure
was
some of them might have knowledge of what mine is. That'd be a little
Oh
awkward.
yeah, they're still giving you a little bit of breath. Yeah, a little bit of space.
I
Joe, that thing, it's just gonna blow us all up again.
I didn't want to ask mechanically. Did we get any repairs back, or our overcharge
not.
dice reset or anything?
Did not. You did not have time for any of those repairs. The only thing that happened was that Kaiser was able to get the superficial carapace cataling. The repairs needed to repair your mechs is just much more time.
Beyond,
You would actually,
yeah,
yeah. I mean, they can
beyond
do
their
it.
capability
Takes
to
a
do
lot of
quick, beyond their capability to do quickly.
Yeah, you would get the sense that to repair a mech, even for like a short rest repair, would take a number of weeks. And with like the capabilities that they have, they can do it. It would just take a long time, as opposed to in Evergreen, where you have the capabilities and instruments. It would take something like 5 hours.
Yeah.
Now that everyone's in the mechs and stuff, Kier's going to privately say to the rest of the team, just filling them in on what the fuck is happening over at Evergreen, and particularly mentioning about how the NHP opportunity was quote lost.
It is just radio silence from Q-Teppy.
I saw this coming.
And there is a response from Kanye. It's just unfortunate.
Kaiser's is probably not as good as ours, though.
Also, yeah, we'll take this opportunity to dunk on Contingency White just by screenshotting Adina's message, just like.
It's like, okay,
Oh,
no,
actually,
that deserves a response. That's okay. Kudos.
Omega lol.
Yeah, contingency white. Ugh, I don't think they were prepared for what's going to happen. Yeah, well, you all press forward through the midwall, and as you enter another derelict transit pathway, and you all start to travel for something around about an hour or so. In the back of your minds, you know that the summit will be occurring in 4 or so hours. So you need to tie up what this is and make your way back for this very important summit and the reason you had decided to come here to Hive Home. As you all are traveling a bit, you catch some of the banter from Bitter and from the Hirsinians here, which are a combination of human and Egregorians. Bitter speaks into your mech comms and says, "Tell me, what is it you think about Hive Home? Isn't it a jewel?"
A diamond in the rough.
Diamond in the rough. A great expression. You see, Hive Home is very unique. Unlike Michael Fields or Daylight, it is the busiest and biggest, most populated city of the Arcerian United Cities and has the greatest portion of Egregorians. And with this discovery of more Egregorians, we will be much more significant. Your aid in this endeavor is much appreciated.
What is the situation in terms of population for Egregorians?
Bitter kind of takes a minute to pause a little bit and kind of thinking about that question and says, "We are recovering. Say it so much. We are still in the minority of the humans here, but we don't typically consider it that way. We all are Hycernians, and while we can attribute our growth in population towards the good will of the human Hycernians, we still have a long way to come."
Q kind of ceases their radio silent for a moment, and they kind of like grunt in approval, but they also say, "Unionship is not simply the being together of a people. It is important to not lose the aspects of your history that have made you what you are. But that also does not mean that you drown out and stay isolated to any change."
Interesting. Bitter is gonna. You get the sense that they're probably turning their head to kind of like look back at your mechs as they are coming into you, and as you said that, they kind of turn their head back, looking forward, kind of looking at their data pad again, and says, "Yes, competing dualities, the need for individuality and to reclaim a past, and the need to accept the current state of events and integrate. Very troublesome choices. Regardless, I am not the one that will decide this. There are others, and in addition, Endevor, that will be the voice of our people."
To me, it is a simple decision. Over specialization breeds weakness. It is a slow death. We must rely on each other's strengths if we are to defeat the enemy, to the common enemy amongst us.
Bitter takes that in and says back to you and the rest of your team, and stops walking, and the rest of the Hercynians stop walking too, in response to Bitter stop walking. Turns around, looks at you all, and says, "Yes, working together. It is a temporary solution, if you ask me. This respect is partially held in consensus with the other Egregorians. But my question to you is, what is the need for change when the enemy no longer exists? How do you justify your occupation?" And by your, he means humans' occupation. "Your occupation of our home when there's nothing left to fight."
We don't.
Hugh chuckles, and he says, and oh man, I don't know if I can say this in the way that you'd let me.
Thank you.
Well, it's like what I want to hit them with is like, yeah, the history of the Infocane, the history of the Infocane is a history of people from disparate backgrounds coming together to face a common enemy. And yes, we don't have that common enemy. Yes, that common enemy does not exist anymore, but we didn't break apart. We in being together, we became stronger. This is what it means to be Infocane.
Interesting.
And if you let me get away with just saying it in a summary as opposed to like having to
that's fine.
RP it out, yeah. I basically hit them with like Infocane history, and it's like, yes, there may not always be a common enemy, but threats. It is the nature of the world to create a threat, and in being together, we are stronger. We are brothers and sisters and made stronger by it. That is literally the whole idea of being Infocane.
Mm-hmm.
Together, the togetherness. hands holding hands.
Would you say a bundle of sticks is stronger than a single?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh no, I got him.
You could have just said that, bro.
No, I got you.
I mean,
Tell me, which is more dangerous?
Ah.
A bundle of Ukuwa. seven MP with Ukuwa. Very dangerous.
Oh my god.
Who would
Okay.
win?
Yeah, you just came at Bitter with some shit right there. And Bitter is a revivalist, right? Their whole occupation is to recover that past in the threat of something trying to extinguish it. But the revelation of a alternate way of thinking, sort of, I think hits and resonates with Bitter. And they still haven't continued walking. And they say back to you and your compatriots and say, yes, I see where you have come from, and I see the reason in your statement. I hope it is that the rest of my kin feel the same way. Should we all come out of the situation unharmed, I would look to you all for insight. Hopefully, your participation in the summit can shed a light on this new reality, a reality of togetherness.
Q nods and he gives again what has become his kind of formal gesture to Hysinians. He outstretches his arms, but as he does it, he says, with chest laid bare, blood of with chest laid bare, blood of my blood, I embrace you." And as he says, "I embrace you," he kind of gives the typical Infakane like salute, clutching his arms in together, and he bows.
Cool.
And then he
Cool.
continues walking. He doesn't wait.
Cool. Yeah. Bitter. Yeah. We'll take that, and without saying anything more, and we'll continue walking. Did any of the rest of you guys want to say anything?
Nah, man.
Cool. 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 As you all proceed forward, you start to see a bit of alertness befall some of the Hysinian Rangers here. You have descended down diagonal cavern that's a little bit more slick, and you need your mech's stabilizing footing to really not just tumble over and slide all the way down. It's a little bit easier for the Rangers in Bitter because like they're on foot and stuff, but it's a little bit treacherous for your mechs. You know that this descending cavern isn't a well-charted course by the Hysinian Rangers, and this is untreaded grounds. As you tread carefully down this descending cavern, you start to pick up notes on your mech sensors as they kind of screen the surroundings. Is that there are residual machine forces, subalterns, also farming droids and drones that are buried in the ground here. They look recently buried or just not activated. So much so that the ground begins to be rocky in the sense that you're treading over deactivated or unactivated subalterns and farming equipment.
Don't trust that.
Sisyphus, scanners wide, any movement, I want to know.
Give me a check. Systems.
Okay, sweet.
Take an accuracy because you have Sisyphus.
Fuck yeah. Yeah. Fuck.
Yeah.
That's
That's exactly what you need, Jesus.
How does Sisyphus help you out in this?
His job is running the stats, so he runs the statistic probability of every single piece of debris possibly moving, and looks like the most. Is like, okay, of all of them to possibly move, these ones are the most likely.
Got you. Yeah, you get that reading back, and it's you're a little bit new to Sisyphus, right? You've only been in a battle once with Sisyphus, this NHP, so you're kind of parsing out your coordination as you go. But you ultimately receive feedback from Sisyphus that there are eventually, well, rather, eventually, you will encounter active machine forces. It's only at eventual causality because of the newness of these deactivated subalterns and the rising need of new weapons that the machine may need. So you can assume that before you, maybe not too far ahead of you, there will be assailants.
Mm. Stats are back in. Contact up ahead.
Flamer on.
What are the rest of you guys doing?
Brother, get the flamer. The heavy flamer.
For the flamer.
Turning on the heavy flamer.
It's just shadows upon the warrior mask within the cockpit. Q doesn't say anything, but you can kind of see the lights, and as they kind of flip through their systems manually because they don't have an NHP.
Loser.
Who's gonna be the loser in the end, huh? But yeah, they as they kind of flip through their systems manually, they get to the liturgy of their mech, and without necessarily activating it, but just kind of like checking its status, it gives off the same energy that it did before. The realm of hands of like pulling out the code from a dimension of Shaka's hands gripping on it, and that kind of if you are in a mech looking at Q, it is almost as though they are surrounded by hands grasping upon them.
Interesting. In anticipation for what might occur? Is that what it is?
Exactly. It is just kind of like just all the different hands. It is to reference anime.
Oh no.
It's like
I got it. It's the guy
it's like
from My Hero
Shiggy.
Academia.
It's Shigaraki. It's just Shigaraki hands all over, including on the face. Just
I got that
covered.
reference. What about you, Gear and Kaiser?
I think Kaiser, a little detail that I don't know if anyone remembered is that his mech doesn't have a traditional cockpit. It has like what's that thing from Star Wars, like the
Yes, the milk.
yeah, he's
Fucking
just
back
really-
to tank.
Yeah, he's just working in that, and he has before his mech was like animalistic and like crawled on all fours, and now it's progressed to like walking like how a gorilla does.
It's
like-
literally the evolution meme.
Yeah, and he's like has fond memories of his not his childhood, but his young adulthood.
Okay. Gear?
Yeah, pretty much very business when it comes to fighting in the cockpit. They're just pretty much looking through their various different cameras and stuff, seeing if there's contact right ahead, but turning on the big old flamer. Otherwise, there's not really much detail to it.
Nice. Yeah, you turn on your flamer and we get the tick of almost when you're starting up a grill, right? And you and eventually a flame erupts at the end of your thermobaric flamethrower thingy. And
Big thing.
it's
But the big
framed
thing.
and ready. And then Kaiser's mech is walking on all fours, blissfully, but definitely with the intent to smash. The High Syrian Rangers press forward cautiously at this point. Bitter at this point is more retreating backwards and says to you all, I get the sense that something is ahead. Would you all mind if I and protected between you.
He'll crouch down the old into a slab squat with the mech and pop open the med bay.
Nice. Yeah, you pop in the med bay and Bitter enthusiastically climbs inside. It's like calls back into you and says, "This is quite comfortable."
Nah, just relax.
What's this?
Yeah, right in its style.
Oh, you got the leather? The leather?
Bitter's just like, Bitter,
Sometimes.
Bitter just sits on top of your medical podium thingy and just like kind of crosses their arms and legs and just kind of like waits patiently when the doctor comes and sees you.
Yeah, Q just kind of
Adorable.
as Bitter climbs in, Q just kind of says, "Blood of my blood, let your wounds be mine."
Pulls out his phone, starts playing a round of Bloons TD.
Gosh. In
Cool.
before, my fucking extended compartment gets blown the fuck up.
Yeah.
Oh no!
This is so destroying.
Critical mission failure.
Please don't lose Bitter. He's cool. Or they're cool. Yeah. So as Bitter climbs inside, you all tread carefully, so do the Assyrian Rangers. As you descend for another 20 or so minutes, cautiously down this diagonal cavern, eventually it bottoms out. But as it bottoms out, there are glimpses, reflections of pikes 10 feet long and subalterns glistening with broken metal and rusted bone, I don't know, bone wiring or whatever. They don't seem to notice you all, but there is a mass of these, some hundreds in the number, that stand before your path. And then we will end it there.
It is a pleasure to burn.
It's a pleasure to burn. Yeah, we'll end it there. But yeah, you have the subalterns in front of you guys, and we'll pick it up on next session there.
Brilliant. I enjoy. This is another RP session, but I enjoy it.
Yeah.
Thank you, bus driver.
I always like the RP session.
Thank you, bus driver.
Yeah, I did.
Thank you, bus driver.
I appreciate it. No, thank y'all. Yeah, I like the RP sessions. They're fun. I think this one, every time we play, I think that the session that we played is my favorite session, but I think this is my favorite session.
It
No,
was very interesting.
It was the final concession to violence.
Yeah, I like RP sessions in terms of how they can progress the character. Like, I do genuinely feel challenged as a Q-Teppy in like what to do and what path am I going to take and what kind of leader I'm going to be as I fall more and more into the role of leader. Like, I know I have the leadership talent, but I feel like I haven't been trying to play Q-Teppy as like, yes, I'm the leader of this group. It's just kind of been like shot caller type thing.
And
It
then
just
we've
makes
been
me-
actively throwing you under the bus.
Literally a spotter, and now it's just gear. Someone who is upset at me has literally just consigned like, yeah, no, this person is the leader of this group, and it's like, oh man, oh no.
It like makes me so excited that like, even though it's like sad that Tom McGill postponed Act 2, but I'm like really excited to run Act 2 with you guys.
Yeah, I'm excited for Act 2 because I think combat's gonna get nutty there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
It's gonna be wild.
I know personally just that like when it comes to narrative sessions versus like combat sessions, narrative sessions are really cool on a character wise thing. Combat sessions I always have fun with because Shaka, you know as best as anyone else in this group, I like running weird builds.
All of you guys run weird fucking builds, honestly. Well, Kaiser's build is pretty straightforward, but it's like very dangerous, I think, as a GM. But definitely you and Scalpel run a fucking.
I mean, it could be worse. He could be running Manticore.
Yeah.
Oh my god. I had a friend that ran Manticore and it was fucking fun.
I just like
blowing up.
I like trying out builds and trying to figure out like how do I become, I won't say the most like valuable asset on the field, but more so like just like how can I do this job in a really good way that isn't just the plain old, oh yeah, I do a bunch of damage or something like that. So, you know, like I have my speed build or I have my infinite targeting build, or in this case, I have my spotter build of like, no, you get to get shot.
Yeah, no. My build,
It's
and just
cool.
generally all my builds tend to just be like, I don't go for hacking stuff because it hurts my head a little. It's a little bit much for me. But if I can do a exceedingly efficient version of like a standard like shoot dude build that can actually be where I need it to be when it needs to be there, I have a lot of fun. Like being a fucking incredibly fast big boy with a flamethrower
Yeah,
is very, very fun, especially for like fights where there are quite a few reinforcements, because then I can get there and actually deal with it, rather than, if I was a base like hull and engineering kind of Genghis like most players play, you just sort of, I'm sticking on this side of the map. I can't get over there.
you are.
Yeah, you guys
I'm
really
gonna-
fell into like your rhythm with that last combat too, though. I think.
You are a size 2 Ultra Instinct speeder boy, and it's terrifying.
I'm gonna kill the recording.
All right.
Bye.
Bye,
Bye.
everyone.
See ya.
Bye bye.